Oh, hey guys, it's the Final Hammer here. Sorry, I didn't realize you were there. I sometimes forget that I make YouTube videos. So, I'm gonna get right to the point here, alright? I'm sorry, I'm still eating. You'll have to apologize, you surprised me. So, Rings of Saturn dropped a new album about a month ago. I found out about it today. I didn't realize that it dropped June 20, what was it? It was like June 15th or something like that. So, I gave it a listen today. I had one of my friends listening to it with me over a PlayStation mic, and I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed. So there's a number of reasons. I've touched base and kind of talked about some of the weird shit that's gone on with Rings of Saturn in the past. Reference to Ian was kicked out of Rings of Saturn. Made no sense to me. I didn't understand. There didn't seem to be a clear answer to it, and it was odd because they addressed it with a Facebook post. Now, I was optimistic regarding their instrumental stuff. I said I'd probably still check it out. So some time went by, and Lucas Mann is no longer with Nuclear Blast, or should I say, Rings of Saturn is no longer with Rings of Blast, or Rings of Saturn. Rings of Blast would work too, because they're notorious for those epic blast beats, which is sadly something that was lacking in this album. I'm gonna be honest. I listened to it one time and I hated it. I'd say that the second half of the album is much better, and the heaviest part of the album is a 14-second song. A 14-second song. Maybe it was like an interlude or something. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. I don't know where this came from. So essentially, this is a 7-song record, 6 if you don't count the 14-second song, and it seemed to swap from the regular formula of extremely fast alien metal, and it was kind of settled in for more of a trappy, like a trap rap kind of beat with like the guitar work just over that, and then interludes with drums in it. Like for instance, in the song Shrine, I think it's the first minute. So the first minute is the same beat, right? It keeps going, and then it hits minute 2, and you know, double bass starts rippling off, the guitar's going, and it's like, okay, well, this is obviously Rings of Saturn. There's no vocals, but you know, this sounds like an instrumental. So about another minute goes by, and around the 2-minute sign, or 2-minute mark, it just immediately cuts right back to the trap beat. This ain't it. This ain't it. I don't know if they like lost motivation, or if they're trying to find a sound where it's not. They're not based by the confines of lyrics, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, they don't have to worry about any lyrics being constructed into the song. But it feels like there was. I don't know where their direction is. Because you have a song like Shrine where it's heavily trap and it's got this weird beat to it. And then, what was the last song? Shinigaki or something weird like that? I don't fucking know. And I'm not going to put any of it in it because I don't want my video to get copyright stricken, because it's happened in the past when I'd include little sound snippets. So I'm just going on a little rant here regarding Rings of Saturn and Lucas Mann in their current position. But yeah, no, it went from like this weird trap sound in the first 3 songs, and I'm gonna be honest, while I was listening to it, I couldn't even tell when the song swapped unless I kept checking my phone, because it just sounded the same. The first 3 songs sounded damn near fucking identical, and it's disappointing. It's incredibly disappointing, because you can tell that there is something there, like they could make something good out of this, but it didn't hit home for me. It's hard for me to give this a fair ranking of like you know like this is a 7 out of 10, this is a 4 out of 10, but it just was so far off base for Rings of Saturn to me. I don't even know if I can give it a fair ranking, and I'm too biased. I miss Ian, I miss the vocals, I miss the lyrics. That's some of my favorite parts about metal music, is the vocals and the lyrics. Obviously everything is important, but like with that lacking, I'm already somewhat taken out of it, right? So when I heard it, I was like, I'll give it a shot. So the town I live in has really shitty service, right? So I turned this on, and I shit you not, the Spotify album cover didn't even load in. It was just like the gray little disc. And I didn't even believe that it was Rings of Saturn at first. I thought, like, oh, this is probably a rapper that's, you know, got an identical name, or, you know, because it's happened before with Vader, and it's happened before, I think, with you know, it doesn't even matter. But it just, I couldn't tell that it was Rings of Saturn until the drums and guitars started up, which was about a minute into it. It was incredibly strange. So yeah, it's overall, it just felt like there was a lack of direction. Maybe they, maybe they just couldn't come up with something different, or that's why some of these songs would just be like a random minute of trap and then go back to guitar. But it just sounded so uninspired, and it was disappointing to hear, because Rings of Saturn to me is one of the most innovative deathcore bands out there, or at least they were. Maybe it's starting to wear out, or maybe it's just fatigue or whatever, but it didn't hit like it always does, and it sucks. It's super sad and super disappointing, because like I said, Lucas and I don't remember the other guy's name, honestly. Joel Ullman, was that it? He's fucking talented on the guitar too. Like, every time I would watch their streams just to see them play. But it's gotten to the point now where there's so much crazy shit going on with Rings of Saturn. They almost should have just changed their name or done a side project. Like I said, I still don't know the context behind the whole Ian booting, but like, that for me was kind of shady. And then what happened between Nuclear Blast and fucking Lucas was also incredibly strange, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of answers on that. So we're left to speculate, like, what happened? Why was Ian removed from the band? Was it really creative differences? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even deathcore anymore. It's something completely different, and some people might like that. Some people might love that, but I could not get invested into this album. I tried. I listened to it. Maybe it was because I wasn't giving it full focus. I'll give it another listen, and if I feel like I'm wrong, I'll come out with another video. Which, fuck, even if I feel like I'm wrong, and it's a great album, after I listen to it 4 more times, it's like, yeah, I probably just won't release a video. Let's be honest. I'm terrible with releasing videos, but it's hard to sit and listen to that album knowing what band made it, and knowing, like, this just isn't it. It just doesn't hit the spot, you know? So I'm left with a hunger inside, like, I want more, like, just like, you know, the blast beats, but it's just not the same. The magic is gone to me, and like I said, maybe it's just me growing out of that kind of music, because I've been focusing on a lot of other projects, a lot of death metal, you know, but this is pretty disappointing. Like I said, I don't know if I could even rank this, but if I was going to, it's probably a 3 out of 10. It has its moments of pretty great sweeps and shit, and it sounds great, but like I said, it's not the same. It doesn't feel like the same. It feels soulless almost, I guess. Now, I don't want it to sound like I'm ripping on the band, because they're talented people. Like, like I said, I've watched all of them play the guitars, the drums. It's amazing stuff, but this just was such a turn in direction for me. And like I said, it felt at times like there wasn't even direction, because it sounds like, imagine Doom soundtrack, but like Dollar General, and that's kind of what I got here, just with great sweeps. It's like they put all of their budget into the sweeps and ignored a lot of the other stuff. I don't know, it had its moments, there was some cool atmosphere, but overall, it just didn't hit it. I don't want to listen to it again, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. I'm aware that it had potential, but unfortunately, that potential was not really touched. So, I'm sorry for fans of the band who follow my channel, because I know my Rings of Saturn content has gotten me most of my views, but it's time to just be like, look guys, I'm sorry, this wasn't it. And if you like it, that's perfectly fine, and I appreciate that, because I think it's better to look for the good in things rather than the bad, especially when it comes to music, because it can become incredibly depressing if you just focus on the bad parts of an album or things you might not like that much. So if you enjoy it, do not let this at all affect your viewpoint on it. It's just, for me personally, everything that's been going on with the band, I guess I'm just kind of ready to give up on them. Well, that was the final hammer. Sorry if this video was sloppy. I literally listened to the album like an hour and a half ago, and I'm just waiting for MK11 to download, and I was like, I'm really pissed off about this album, and I'm upset, and I'm sad. And maybe I'm just being an entitled bitch fan, but I just feel like I feel let down a little bit. So yeah, there we go. 3 out of 10. That was the final hammer. Rings of Saturn. please get your stuff together if you're watching this. If not, please, or if you feel confident with this, that's fine too. Tell me to go fuck myself. That's cool too. I'll still pay to see you guys live. Or maybe not. I don't know. Have a good one, guys.